This explainer is brought to you by our friends at Berry Labs. Hey everyone, and welcome! Today we're diving into a super practical field manual for getting AI right. We've all seen the chaos, right? Companies just jumping in feet first without a plan. Well, this is your guide to avoid all that. We're going to lay out a clear, actionable path for those first 90 days of your AI journey. And honestly, this quote just nails it. The promise of AI is so alluring, it's easy to get swept up. But without a real strategy, that promise can turn into derailed projects and, well, a whole lot of wasted money. You've got to have a map before you start the engine. Simple as that. So here's our game plan. First, we're going to look at how AI suddenly hit the fast lane. Then we'll check out what's happening in business right now and flag some of the common bumps in the road. After that, we get to the main event, your 90-day launchpad. And to wrap it up, we'll take a little peek at what's coming over the AI horizon. Okay, let's start by taking a quick look in the rearview mirror. To really understand where we're going, you have to know how we got here. And AI's journey has been this long, slow burn that suddenly just hit the accelerator. Believe it or not, this all started way back in the 50s, mostly as a dream in academia. The first real business uses didn't even pop up until the 80s with these things called expert systems. But things really started cooking with the internet boom, which gave us all the data needed for machine learning. That's where we got things like those early Amazon recommendations. Then the 2010s made it personal with Siri and Watson. And now, well, we are living through the generative AI revolution. Tools like ChatGPT just blew the doors off everything, turning AI from a nice-to-have into something you have to have, practically overnight. So that brings us to today. What's actually going on in the business world right now? The short answer is, it's exploding. Seriously, the experts see this not just as another tech upgrade, but as a complete transformation of how business gets done. And the numbers totally back this up. Get this, a staggering 92% of business leaders are optimistic about what AI can do. I mean, think about that for a second. When was the last time 92% of leaders agreed on anything? This isn't just a trend, it's a massive, fundamental shift in how people are thinking. And that optimism, it's not just wishful thinking. It's being fueled by real, tangible results. Companies that are smart about how they use generative AI are seeing an average return of 3.7 times what they put in. This is the financial horsepower that's driving this whole thing. It's not hype when it's hitting the bottom line. So, how are the winning companies actually pulling this off? Well, they all follow 5 golden rules. First, they know their why. They start with a business problem, not just some cool tech. They treat their data like gold because for AI, it's the fuel. Garbage in, garbage out, right? They start small with pilot projects, get those quick wins, and build momentum. They invest in their people because AI is useless without folks who know how to use it. And finally, they build it an ethical compass from day one to avoid future disasters. These aren't just suggestions, they are absolutely non-negotiable. Okay, but let's be real, it's not all smooth sailing. The road to great AI is absolutely paved with potholes. So let's look at the most common, but totally avoidable obstacles that can trip you up. Let's tackle the biggest fear head-on, the elephant in the room, the job stealer. The truth is, it's a way more nuanced than that. AI is less of a job stealer and more of a job shifter. It's really good at automating specific tasks, which frees up humans to focus on the stuff we're great at: creativity, critical thinking, and big picture strategy. Getting this difference is key to getting your team on board. And beyond the jobs question, there are other traps. You've got biased bots learning from bad data, which gives you bad results. There's the black box problem, where an AI makes a call and nobody can explain why, which completely kills trust. Privacy nightmares are a huge one. Nearly half of companies using AI have accidentally exposed data. And maybe the biggest trap of all, a shocking 80% of AI projects fail because their goals were fuzzy. That is a massive amount of wasted time and money. These risks are no joke. Okay, we've seen the history, the hype, and the hazards. Now let's talk solutions. It's time to get into the heart of this thing, your actionable 90-day playbook that turns all this theory into real-world practice. We're breaking this down into 3 simple phases. The first 30 days, that's all about setting the stage. The next 30, you're going to build, test, and tweak. And the final 30 days are all about going live and scaling up the smart way. So in phase 1, you lay the foundation. This means getting visible support from the C-suite. It absolutely has to come from the top. You'll create a strategic blueprint that links every single AI idea to a real business goal. Then you go hunting for those low-risk, high-reward, quick wins to build some serious momentum. And finally, You assemble your cross-functional AI Avengers team to break down those frustrating silos between departments. Now in phase 2, you get your hands dirty. This is all about practical experimentation. You'll build a prototype, what we call a minimum viable model, just to prove the concept works. You'll do a data detox, cleaning and structuring your data so it's ready for action. Then you run pilot tests and get a ton of feedback from real users. And, crucially, you start skilling up your team, because new tools always require new skills. And phase 3 is launch time. You roll out that successful prototype and integrate it into day-to-day operations. You gradually expand its use to other teams, continuing to train and empower more people. You make your rules of engagement official, with clear policies on governance and ethics. And, do not forget this part, you track your results and you shout your successes from the rooftops. That's how you build real, widespread buy-in. So you've nailed your 90-day launch. Awesome. But look, this is just the beginning of the journey. Let's zoom out for a second and look at what's coming next, because this revolution is really only just getting started. The tech that's just over the horizon is, well, it's mind-blowing. We're talking about agentic AI. Think autonomous systems that don't just give you recommendations, they actually do things. Then there's multimodal AI, which can understand text, images, and video all at once, just like a person does. We'll also see more explainable AI, which can finally show its work and crack open that black box. And all of this is pointing to a future of human-AI harmony, where we handle the strategy and our AI partners handle the execution. So what's the bottom line here? The AI revolution is here, change is coming, there's no stopping it. The question is no longer if it's going to transform your business, but how you're going to lead that transformation. Being proactive isn't just an option, it's the only path forward. Which brings us to the final and most important question you need to ask yourself. The future is intelligent. Are you ready for it? Look, if you're feeling excited but maybe a little overwhelmed about how to execute this perfectly, you're not alone. That's where a partner like Colaberry can come in. They really act as an expert co-pilot, helping organizations just like yours turn this 90-day playbook into a real-world success story. This explainer was brought to you by Colaberry Labs.